Multiple counts of a conspiracy to commit grand larceny, conspiracy to commit assault, and in connection with the incident on July 17, 2015, conspiracy to commit murder.
Mr. Jerome, how do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
You just told me you made a fresh pot of coffee. You ran out of the station at 4 a.m.
Yeah, that's one over there.
What's got you so absorbed?
This. Right here. This is everything I was afraid of.
You've been holding out on me, big brother. Didn't I tell you you could trust me? Sonny then stuck me, Denise DiMuccio, best cosmetologist in Rego Park. You'll never let me run the business.
Morgan, please help me. There's some people staying here. I wanted to get more towels. You know? Morgan!
What?
I'm talking to you.
Okay.
I was just asking for your help, and you're completely ignoring me.
I just got a little distracted. Okay, Franco's trial starts today.
Figure out a way to keep me out of Pensacola? You know, the only sure way out is to point the finger at Nina.
Okay, you need to stop fidgeting. I can't. All right, Huddy, honestly, how do you expect me to do your sketch when you're moving like this? I'm sorry. It's not you, it's me. I can't concentrate. I'm so worried about Franco. He didn't kill anybody. He didn't do it. And everything was supposed to be okay. He told me not to worry, and I can't believe that this happened. Why not Liesl? We're supposed to handle everything. Guten Morgen, Miss Jerome.
I had all but convinced myself that Julian really had gone straight, that he was out of the mob.
Well, it seemed like he had.
Yeah, but he was lying. Yet again, he's still in the mob. After Sonny's territory, he hijacked one of Sonny's trucks.
Wow, we don't know that for sure.
You don't?
No, but one of Julian's guys rolled on him. He still denies everything. He's insisting that he's out.
Of course he denies it. What else is he going to say?
In light of the defendant's considerable financial resources and his documented contempt for the law as evidenced by his failure to comply with the original witness protection agreement submitted to the court, the people respectfully request that bail be denied.
Your Honor, my client is a respected businessman with strong ties to the community.
Mr. Jerome is a notorious crime lord. He has affiliations to an underworld that could easily spur him away in the event that he wanted to go underground.
Acting DA Lansing is presenting allegations as fact. We are prepared to submit affidavits of his strong character.
Your Honor, the police had in custody a witness who was at the scene at the time when cargo and vehicles belonging to Mr. Sonny Corinthos were hijacked on the orders of Mr. Jerome.
So Mr. Lansing is proposing to hold Mr. Jerome without bail based on the word of a dirtbag?
Objection, Your Honor. Opposing counsel's characterization of our witness as a dirtbag is completely out of line.
Characterization notwithstanding, I am inclined to agree with the defense. Mr. Lansing, the people are entitled to prosecute this case, but in light of Mr. Jerome's ties with the community, I will allow him to post bond. Bail is set at $500,000. We're adjourned.
All rise.
Thanks for working your magic.
It's all in a day's work.
No, it's more than that. It means a lot to me that you believe in me so much.
I know, Heidi. I believe this is wrong. Wrong. Franco's facing murder charges. He's going to trial for God knows how many years. Or worse. And I know what you said. I should have never trusted my Aunt Liesl. I knew that too. But she loves Franco, and which is a little too much. She loves him a little too much, to be honest with you. It's weird. I don't know why she didn't come through for him. I mean, you remember what she was going to do, right? That she was going to get that incriminating recording for Ava, and then in return, Ava was going to give back the incriminating picture of me with Silas. That didn't happen. Franco's going to trial, and it's all my fault. You're right. You're right. I should go to him.
Nina didn't kill Silas. I told you that.
Yeah, well, I didn't believe you then, and I don't believe you now, because obviously you're trying to protect Nina.
Obviously? What are you even talking about?
Well, when I asked you about what went on the night of the murder, you started speaking haiku. Not to mention the fact that you tried to get rid of evidence, and that Mrs. Shipley heard you arguing with Dr. Clay about Nina.
Nina wasn't the only person we were arguing about.
Look it. I don't know if you're selling strudel or something door to door, but I ain't buying. I'm not the one selling something. You can't just waltz yourself in here.
Spare me your dime store theatrics. Franco told me the whole story, so let's get down to business.
Look, lady, I don't know who you are or what you're talking about, so maybe you better vamoose, okay, before things get a little bit ugly.
Since you insist on perpetuating this charade, Miss Jerome, I'll simply have to call your daughter Kiki and let her know that her mother is alive and well and posing as a beautician from the outer boroughs. Not to mention playing Divina Versteken, or as you might say, hide the sausage with her boyfriend behind her back.
Can't believe Franco killed again.
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe I almost married that lunatic.
Luckily, you got out in time.
Yes, I think about that nightmare because I have much happier wedding to focus on. Oh, September 2nd, we picked the date.
That's great, Mom. Congrats.
Don't congratulate me yet. Let's wait till I'm actually married. But we just want to make sure you're there, so save the date.
Oh, I didn't even think you guys would still want me there, especially after you thought I killed Kiki's dad.
All right, you can't blame us. Silas was about to tell Kiki what was going on between you and Denise. You had motive, and you haven't been exactly straightforward with this
How many times
recently.
we gotta go through this? Can you just please back the hell off? Please?
Calm down.
Sorry, but Kiki is upstairs and she can't know anything about this.
I can't know anything about what?
No, but I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. But Julian was arrested. Obviously, the cops think they have a case against him.
We do.
Well, and Sonny, if he thinks Julian is stealing from him, he's not going to take that lying down. I mean, can I really bring Leo back and put him in the middle of all of this?
I understand where you're coming from, Ma. I do. What if you're not going to come clean about this, baby? What are you going to do?
The only thing I can do. Turn around and go.
Congratulations, Counselor. You did a real good job. Too bad you wasted your skills defending him.
Can we not do this right now?
You know, when we're together, I didn't lie to you. We had that agreement. I just didn't tell you things you didn't want to know. Now, he's lying to you all the time. You were smart enough to walk away from him before, right? But now he's playing you for a fool. And the sad part is, you know.
You're wrong.
Oh, look, it's the Sonny and Rick show, the Brother Act. Nice try, Sonny, but I'm still getting out of here.
It's not over yet, Julian.
Well, it's just a matter of time. See you, boys.
Bye, guys.
Hey, listen, I'm sorry about that. I really wanted to see that bastard behind
Just, you know what? I'm starting to wonder, what are the advantages of having a brother who's a DA? I mean, I know that I lost my lawyer, but I thought that, having you as a DA, you'd be able to get him, found guilty. But he's walking out of here, so I don't understand.
Okay, look. Like I said, I did everything that I could. I'm only the acting DA. Okay, once the election is over, I'm sure I'm going to be back to being your lawyer at your side.
I'm glad to hear that.
In the meantime, I'm going to do the city some good. Putting away Silas Clay's killer.
Hey, Kiki, what's going on? We were just talking about Franco. She was talking about how he's still a psychopath and stuff, and I was just saying how you don't need to hear that right now.
You were.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I understand I'm not the guy's biggest fan, but I also understand that you have your doubts that he killed your father.
You do? I thought you were the one who called the police on him. You found him in your father's apartment.
I did. And though I may have felt that way that night, the more I think about it, the harder it is.
Find the weapon on him?
Yes, they did. And I know that the evidence, it looks really bad, but I don't know. There's a part of me that's still not convinced.
Why?
Because my dad left me a message saying that he had to talk to me about something important, and I think that message is the key to this case.
We should probably get going because Kiki's testifying today.
Oh. It's going to be difficult, all right? But you just take a deep breath, you answer the questions as slowly as possible and simple, and if you get upset, you tell the judge you need a couple minutes for a break, all right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Go.
Don't call Kiki, all right? Put the phone down. Eva, hello. So good to see you.
I wish I could say the same to you.
Well, that was light. I can understand why you wouldn't want me to call Kiki. How to explain to Dinah Doctor why you betray her for sex.
I care for Morgan very deeply.
I think maybe you love this boy even more than your daughter, yeah?
Morgan and I are over. And that's for Kiki's sake. I'll have you know I adore my daughter.
Then perhaps you should take up another hobby besides stooping your daughter's boyfriend. Like scrapbooking.
None of this is any of your business.
Franco is my business. His trial starts today. Put an end to this nasty charade and turn yourself in.
Now, why on earth would I do that?
Of course you have to ask. Because it's the right thing to do.
Oh, it's the right thing to do. According to whom? You?
You must come forward. Franco's innocent.
So am I.
Dr. Clay was threatening to expose your sordid affair with that boy. You were desperate. You needed Silas out of the way.
So what? I stabbed him to death? That's insane.
Is it? We shall see if the police agree with you when I tell them.
We both know you're not going to do that.
Really? And how do we know that?
If you expose me, you expose Nina. And your good friend Franco will hate you forever.
Who else were you and Dr. Clay arguing about? If you've got something to say, this would be the time to say it. Hello?
Mr. Baldwin? Can Franco please come to the phone?
My son can't play right now. He's in detention. He'll have to call you back.
Sabina. No. Wait, can I talk to him?
No.
Please. Please, Dad. Why are you calling me? You shouldn't be calling me.
I couldn't help it. Kind of going crazy.
I mean, not literally. I'm not literally going crazy. Just, I'm really worried about you. You're going to trial.
You don't need to worry about me.
Listen, what happened? My Aunt Liesel was supposed to get that recording for Ava, and then Ava would give us back the incriminating picture of me sitting next to Silas's body, and then Ava would have to squirm her way out of her own murder charges.
Yeah, well, that was the plan. What was not part of the plan was my father quitting his job as district attorney. What was really not part of the plan was the person being appointed to replace him being your husband.
What?
Yeah. Oprah couldn't get the recording from my father because Rick was standing there in the way.
Rick is prosecuting you? Oh, no, this is bad. Why is this happening?
I'm afraid there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, there's something we can do about it. I'm going to come forward, and I'm going to take full responsibility for Silas's murder.
Are you kidding me? No, Nina, you are absolutely not coming forward.
What else am I supposed to do?
Do nothing. Don't worry about it. My father will get me acquitted. Everything will be fine.
With Rick as the DA? And that Ms., I don't know, whatever her name is, the secretary that I heard about? I mean, how are you so certain that everything's going to be okay?
I have a good lawyer.
I'm scared to death that you're going to hang or fry or be shot up with chemicals or whatever they do in the state because that skank, that she-serpent skank, Ava Jerome, has that incriminating photo of me up in her cloud and she won't go get it and bring it back down?
Wait a minute.
saying that you did not confront Ava, did you? Nina?
Come on, give me the phone back. It's showtime. Your trial's starting.
One more second, please. Just one more second. Nina?
I'm really scared. I don't know what to do. And I'm freaking out. And I miss you. And I love you so much.
I love you too.
Hey.
This is the kind of day we should have just stayed in bed.
What happened at the courthouse?
Julian pled not guilty.
No surprise there.
Judge gave him bail.
What? Why? Let me guess. Rick.
You know what? I'm not happy about it either, but it was not Rick's fault.
Well, that's the problem with Rick. Nothing is ever his fault.
No, I'm talking about under these circumstances that, Rick did everything that he could.
Okay, well, let's hope he's more effective in prosecuting Franco. And the sooner that case is closed and he's put away, better for all of us.
You still worried about Morgan?
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you a story. It's not a fairy tale, though. It's a brutal story with a very unhappy ending. But it is a very, very simple story. It's a clear-cut tale of murder. The accused is a known serial killer, Robert James Frank, a.k.a. Franco Baldwin. But while Mr. Baldwin should be spending the rest of his natural life in prison behind bars for his crimes, he is not because of a legal technicality. This man would have no problem admitting having murdered several people. He tried to kill his own mother. He stabbed her with a knife, which we are going to find out is his weapon of choice. With the murder of Dr. Silas Clay, a noted oncologist who was a savior to many sick and many frightened people, Franco has added one more name to his lethal roster. I'm going to take you through the day of the murder. I'm going to present to you the means, a bloody knife, the motive, a woman, Nina Lansing, my very own wife, who both Franco and Dr. Clay managed to let slip through their fingers, and finally, the opportunity. Because Franco was found in possession of the murder weapon at the scene of the crime. As I said, it's a very, very simple tale. But once you have heard all of it, you will know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, there's only one way for it to end. With a verdict of guilty.
I'm afraid that I'm going to have to disagree with my esteemed colleague, the new acting DA, the great Rick Lansing. Because the story he's about to trot out is a fairy tale. It's completely fabricated. It's full of circumstance and supposition. The prosecution has no case. I didn't see it, and you won't see it. To be perfectly honest with you folks, the reason why I stepped down from my position as district attorney, because with a clear conscience, I could not prosecute this case because Franco is innocent. And when I get through telling you the truth, you'll know that Dr. Clay was murdered by someone else.
It's obvious that Franco told you everything. And so you must know that I have a very incriminating photo of Nina. And I will not be relinquishing that photo until Franco gets his hands on that recording from the DA's office. Now, seeing as how Franco is incarcerated at present, perhaps the good doctor could step in.
I tried. It's impossible now that Rick Lansing has replaced Franco's father.
And I'm sorry, but you're fresh out of luck. So why don't you leave now before...
Before what? Before you stab me like you did to Dr. Clay?
Me and Lulu and Rocco, we missed you, Mom. I'm pretty sure you missed us too, otherwise you wouldn't have come back, right? You just didn't like being torn away from your family.
I did miss you, honey. I missed you like nobody's business, you know that. But there's just no good answer here. If I tell Julian the truth, that Leo is still alive, he's going to insist on being a father to my son. And there's no way that that baby's not going to be sucked into that violent, disgusting world.
I'll back up whatever you decide. But just think about it. You Leaving your friends and family to go into hiding with Ned in Brooklyn and a baby, that's no life at all.
What other choice do I have?
I don't know, Mom. I wish I did.
What's wrong?
I gotta go to court.
What are you talking about? You just got back from work. You gotta get some sleep.
See, what would I do if I didn't have my mother here worrying about me like I was a little kid?
I will always be your mother, and I will always worry about you. It's my mother's prerogative. Come here. I love you.
Okay. I won't be long, okay? And just promise me whenever you decide, if you do decide to leave town, just make sure you say goodbye, right?
Julian, you're back. I gotta tell you, I was getting a little worried about you. I read the news, and they said you were arrested.
Lexus got me out.
Oh, just like that, huh?
Well, the judge knew she couldn't refuse bail. The accusation was completely false. I doubt it'll even make it to trial.
What does Alexis say about that?
Well, she's an attorney. So it's her nature to be cautious. But she agrees that the charges have no merit.
She said that.
Not in so many words. That their witness is a complete joke. The only reason the DA took the case this far is because he's Sonny's brother.
Imagine abusing the power of your office just to do your brother's dirty work.
I'm sorry, but what is going on here?
What do you mean?
Well, it sounded pretty heated when I walked in, so I'd like to know what the hell she's doing here. I didn't think you two knew each other.
I think I can explain.
Okay, I said some pretty confidential things on that phone call to Franco. So don't go around blabbing. Okay? Franco's protecting me. He doesn't want me to turn myself in. He doesn't want me to come down to the courthouse. But he's protecting me. He said he loved me. He said he loved me. And I love him. And I have to believe that love conquers all.
Mr. Lansing, would you call your first witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The people would like to call Mrs. Marla Shipley to the stand. Mrs. Shipley, as the secretary of the former DA, can you relate to the court the events that happened on July 31st, 2015, the day that Silas Clay was murdered?
Yes. At exactly 4 o'clock, I was returning to my office after a lengthy visit to the employee kitchenette. Unfortunately, some unknown person had exploded a large container of spaghetti in the microwave and left the mess for me to clean up.
Yes, I'm sorry to hear that. But could you tell us what happened when you passed by the DA's office?
I ascertained there were 2 visitors inside. I recognized one of the voices to be that of Dr. Silas Clay.
Oh, and were you acquainted with Dr. Clay?
Oh, yes. He did a bowel biopsy on my cousin Sheila. The man did exquisite work.
Yes, I see. Was there another visitor there?
Yes, Mr. Baldwin's son, Franco.
And they were talking?
Arguing from the sound of it, heatedly. I mean, this argument went on for several minutes until Dr. Clay stormed out. And Franco left shortly thereafter.
You say the argument was heated?
Yes.
Could you make out what they were saying?
I'm afraid I only heard raised voices. Most of what they said was unclear. Except for one thing.
Which was?
I distinctly heard the name Nina.
Thank you. No further questions. Your witness?
Hiya, Marla. It's good to see you. It's been a while, hasn't it?
A few days.
And yet I have so many questions. Can you tell me what was discussed between my client and Dr. Clay?
As I said, it wasn't clear, and frankly, it was none of my business.
But you definitely heard the name Nina.
Definitely.
Are you sure it wasn't Tina or maybe Catalina or Rowena?
Objection, Your Honor. The witness has clearly stated that she heard the name Nina.
Sustained. The witness has answered the question.
I will move on. Now, Mrs. Shipley, did Dr. Clay say anything to Franco when he left?
Could you repeat the question?
Why? Are you hard of hearing? Is there something wrong?
Not at all. You have the unfortunate tendency to mumble.
Now, are you sure it was an argument that my client was having? Could it have been a debate? Just, an excited exchange of ideas?
Actually, I couldn't say.
You couldn't say because you couldn't hear.
I couldn't say because I wasn't paying close attention.
Mrs. Shipley, the truth of the matter is you didn't hear anything at all.
Objection, Your Honor. The witness has stated what she heard.
Withdrawn. No further questions.
The witness will step down.
I think it's going pretty well.
It's in the bag.
Hey, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just glad that you're here. I really couldn't do this without you. Mr. Lansing, would you like to call your next witness?
I am. I'm still having doubts about Morgan. He seems so preoccupied, Sonny.
Why wouldn't he be? He just found out that his girlfriend's father was murdered after he found Morgan cheating on his daughter.
And he must have been pretty desperate when he thought Kiki was going to find out. You know him. You know all the things he's done.
But killing someone? Even Morgan? I mean, to cover up the affair, who would do that?
You?
What does that mean?
You've been known to go to extremes.
Yeah?
Do you think it's possible Morgan is bipolar?
Absolutely not.
We talked about the possibility of Morgan being bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
There's a genetic component. The condition can be inherited.
Doesn't mean Morgan has this.
His behavior is consistent.
He's a hothead, and he does crazy things. That's his personality. Doesn't mean he gets it from me. Maybe he gets it from you.
Yeah, you're right. I am impulsive. I am, and that's who I am. That's my behavior. That's the way I've always been. Morgan hasn't always been like this. He was a sweet, calm little boy, and when he hit his 20s, he's completely changed.
So,
Sonny, if Morgan is bipolar, he's at the age where we're going to start seeing signs, okay? So let's just think about the things he's done. He had a gambling problem.
Mm-hmm.
He tricked Kiki into marrying him. He slept with Ava. He joined Julian's organization. Okay, what about that night at the pier with Michael when they got into the fight? Michael hit his head. He falls into the water. Morgan takes off. He was going to leave him and let him drown. He loses control when he's angry, okay? He's just... All right, let's just look at him right now then, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Acting out sexually is a symptom. He got back together with Kiki, and right away he sleeps with her aunt.
I get what you're saying. But like you said before, he's in his 20s. He's impulsive. It's not like it's manic behavior.
Not necessarily. Morgan was really depressed when he found out that you were Avery's father and not him. Sonny, God knows what else he's done.
After Kiki called to alert us to the trouble at Dr. Clay's apartment, my partner, Detective West, and myself arrived on the scene.
And what did you find?
We found the defendant, Franco Baldwin, standing in close proximity to Dr. Clay's body.
Is that all you found?
Oh, no, he was holding this. It was concealed in a bag that Franco was carrying.
Were you able to find any fingerprints on the knife?
Yeah, we did a partial print match to Franco Baldwin.
Nobody else's?
No.
No more questions. Your witness.
Detective Falconeri, when you arrested Mr. Baldwin, did he admit to stabbing Dr. Clay to death?
No. He denied it, like most criminals tend to.
Just answer the questions here. Now, did you recover Dr. Clay's phone at the scene of the crime? That's correct, right?
Yes.
Well, was there any outgoing calls?
Yeah, there was one made to his daughter, Kiki, shortly before.
What about incoming?
There was a call from a woman named Denise DiMuccio about an hour before Dr. Clay's body was found.
Well, did you question Denise DiMuccio about the purpose of this call?
I did. She was calling to invite him out to dinner.
Dinner, huh? Tell me, did this dinner ever happen?
No, because he died before she was able to extend the invitation.
No further questions.
Detective Falconeri, you may step down. Mr. Lansing, your next witness.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. The people call Lauren Kiki Jerome to the stand.
I was urging Ms. DiMuccio to show her face in court. Her young niece, the impertinently named Kiki, needs her support. Not to mention Franco himself. After all, she did have a relationship with him, fleeting though it may have been. But, unfortunately, Ms. DiMuccio thinks only of herself.
Hey, well, screw you too. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
I'm needed at the hospital. Once again, Mr. Jerome, I'm very sorry for the unfortunate errors that led to your son's remains being cremated. Terrible mistake.
Thanks. I'm gonna go take a hot shower, wash that holding cell off of me. And when I'm back, maybe you'll tell me what that business with Obrecht was really about.
You said you came to the apartment after a message from your father.
Yes, he said that he needed to talk to me, that it was important. When I got to my father's apartment, I found Franco in the corridor as he was leaving.
Did Franco say anything to you?
He wanted to take me to dinner. He was trying to keep me from going inside the apartment.
Objection. Oh, that calls for speculation.
Sustained.
But you did go inside the apartment.
Yes,
And what did you find there?
I found my father. Dead.
Very sorry, Mr. Jerome. Could you tell us what happened after you found your father?
Franco tried to get me to leave the apartment. He said something about the killer still being inside, but he wasn't making any sense, so finally I called 911.
And what happened when the police arrived?
They searched Franco. He had this canvas bag, like the kind that you take to the market. He said that he had takeout, but when the police searched him, they found a knife.
Let the record show that this is the same knife identified by Detective Falconeri as the murder weapon. Mr. Jerome, I'm sorry that you had to relive the events of that night. I know how painful that must be. Thank you for your testimony. No further questions.
Mr. Baldwin, your witness.
You didn't see Franco stab your father, did you?
No.
You saw him exit the apartment.
Yes.
And you don't know what went on in the apartment.
No, I do not.
In fact, you don't believe that Franco killed your father.
Objection, Your Honor. The witness's opinion is irrelevant.
Withdrawn. Let me put it another way. You have no reason to believe that Franco would kill your father.
No. There were no issues between them that I was aware of.
And you have no reason to believe that that message that was left on your phone had anything to do with Franco.
No. It might just be a gut feeling, but I think it was about something
Objection,
else.
Your Honor. A gut feeling is irrelevant.
Sustained.
No further questions.
We'll take a brief recess before Mr. Lansing calls his next witness. Mr. Jerome, you may step down.
All right.
Hey, are you alright?
Not really. I just want to go wash my face with some cold water and try to calm down.
Look, I know that had to be hard for you in there.
Yeah, it was. God, I just wish I knew what it was that my dad wanted to tell me. I know it had nothing to do with Franco. It was about me.
Thank you so much, Pops.
You're
I
welcome.
can't tell you how much I appreciate everything you're doing for me.
You're welcome.
So is it going as well as I think it is?
Well, it's the best I can do, since you're so lovesick and you won't let me mention the name Nina.
Don't look at me like that. I know. Love doesn't always conquer all, does it? Love isn't going to get the murder charges against Franco dropped. So I can only hope that Denise DiMuccio is going to be exposed for the lying, murderous bitch that she is. That's the only way Franco's going to be free.
Well, that's more like it. I already feel so much better. So, Denise, you gonna tell me what was really going on with Frau Dr. Obrecht?
Why should anything be going on?
Okay. Listen, we're both Jeromes. And you're not gonna fool me. So you might as well tell me. Denise. Maybe I can help.
You know what? Denise doesn't need your help. But Ava does.
Last thing I want to do is upset you. That we're Morgan's parents and we need to face this head on. We keep making excuses for him, Sonny, chalking it up to this or that, and what if we're ignoring the obvious?
You think it's obvious?
If Morgan's bipolar, he can manage his symptoms. He can follow your example. He can go on medication just like you and live a full, active life just like you do. I mean, if this is happening, we should find out the truth and deal with the consequences if we have to. Hey, come here. If it's true, it's not your fault.
If I pass this on to my son and he kills somebody, it's on me.
Mr. Lansing, are you ready to call your next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The state calls Morgan Corinthos.
On the next General Hospital.
Have you given any more thought to attending?
You sure are taking very well to living with my Uncle Sonny.
Franco did not kill Silas. Ava did. I just need to make sure that evidence against me disappears.
Should I be worried?